here or there? Sorry, I'm confused. Yeah, okay. Okay.
You want me to just go now?
Yeah.
Okay.
My message to negotiators at COP is to listen to those who are most affected by climate change and put your money where your mouth is.
My message to negotiators at COP would be to involve youth, not in a tokenistic way, not in a we've spoken to youth and we've listened, but to actually give them decision-making power, right? Not just to say these voices in our ears, we put them in one box and we put them to the side, but to actually give them a seat at the table, let them speak on these issues themselves and give them decision-making power. And I think that's really the difference between the tokenistic way in which youth is quite often involved currently to actually trusting young people with their own futures.
My message to the negotiators of COP is to take ideas of justice seriously. So instead of sweeping it aside as something that's sort of make-believe, something from fairy tales, to really consider how at a national level ideas of justice can be used to really drive a response that's needed to climate change, taking into account that climate is a global public good and the whole world needs to be included in the response to it.
I think my main message to the COP negotiators is we have to consider whose voices are being heard in the negotiations themselves, particularly when we think about inequality, for instance, around climate crisis and the management of that crisis. Disproportionately, there's a very narrow set of voices that are being represented at the table. And there's not only a lot of expertise around the world around how to adapt, but people who are at the sharp end who are telling us that they need our support and need support with money or technology, and they're just not being heard. So I think it's about not just diversifying people, but also the ideas around the table.
I would say a big thing is about redistribution of livestock consumption. So in the global north, people eat probably too much meat, and we need to eat more fruit and veg, basically. And that's both coming from a climate resilience point of view as well as a climate change mitigation point of view. So I think that could be a big thing on the table. And I emphasize the global north, but really we're talking about rich Western countries in particular. If these countries could eat less meat, and that could help in terms of nutrition in, say, areas such as sub-Saharan Africa. So this could mean that it could be a good bargaining chip almost between different countries as to help get some further climate change deals on the table.
We are tired of all the policy statements and all the rhetorics that are coming out of COP. We need real action, we need real political commitment to all the things that are being said at COP. People are losing their lives to climate change. We're seeing it all over the world, both in so-called developed and developing countries. What we want to see now is real action in communities, in people's lives, and in our society.